Hello and welcome to Connecticut at your service. My name is Reginald David and I'm your host today, filling in for Carmen Nieves. Here at Connecticut at your service, we strive to engage, connect, and uplift. We here at Connecticut at your service, we bring you so many different guests of the community, and we bring them here to share their stories and to share their lessons that they have learned throughout the way in their respective careers. Today is no different. We bring you Rosemarie Bobbit. She is the founder and the owner of S&R Nursing Recruiting Services, LLC, a healthcare staffing agency based right here in Connecticut that's making a real difference, not only in the medical field, but also in the community. Beyond her business, she's actively involved in the community, serving as a member of Universal Community Resources, a nonprofit based in Bridgeport that provides resources such as food, clothing, and toiletries to community members in need. Join me in welcoming Miss Rosemarie to the show.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So, Ms. Rosemarie, tell us about your staffing agency.
So I have a nursing recruiting staffing agency. We are out of Connecticut. However, we do service the whole tri-state area. We provide nursing services and staff relief to various companies and facilities throughout the state of Connecticut, from every aspect of healthcare, from nursing homes, assisted living facilities, day facilities, hospitals, group homes, and private duty home care.
Yeah, and you know, the healthcare industry is a special one and sometimes challenging. How did you get involved into healthcare?
So I actually worked in the healthcare field for a very long time, over 18 years. With the last 11 years, I worked for a nursing staffing agency out of Stratford, actually right down the road from here.
Look at
Hey
that.
guys. We covered the whole state of Connecticut.
Okay.
And it wasn't at first my passion to go into my own company. During the pandemic is what really lit the fire under me for me to go into starting something of my own. I watched the healthcare industry go from a place as where nurses were hired, because I hired for the whole state through that company. We hired the nurses, they were passionate about the job and they went out to work. I saw the shift come in that when the pandemic happened, now it became a money grab. You know what I'm saying? Like if you take somebody and they're making $30 an hour, now they're making $50 an hour. The person that was making $40 is now making $70 an hour. So there was a big fluctuation of people coming in with not the right motives, right? So who suffers? The patients suffer, the clients suffer, the facility suffers. I saw the price gouging that took place during that time. I saw facilities go under and bankrupt because they wasn't able to keep substantial nursing in the house and they had to use agency sources. So that way now they're going bankrupt, they can't afford to pay the agencies. And now when they go bankrupt and they have to close their doors, the patients now need some place to go, right? So when I seen this, I said, I have to do something. I said, I can't sit back and do nothing. Right? Like we are all called to do something. And I said, I want to be able to create a company that not only caters to the nurse, but I also cater to the client. And within that, we also provide 24-hour services for our nurses while they're out in the field. Whether it's emotional support that they need, whether it's more like clinical support that they need. We have a nurse that's on the staff that can answer clinical questions for them if they needed to call in, like say they're unsure about something while they're out in the field, if they just need that assistance. And then emotional support, because you got to think about it. Healthcare professionals, they spend majority of their time taking care of others, and they usually neglect themselves and their own families. Like my mom is a nurse, and my mom's been a nurse mostly all of my life. And still to this day, at her very young age, mama, she works anywhere from 60 to 80 hours a week.
Wow.
You know, so I saw nurses working 80 plus hours a week. I see nurses getting burnt out, and a lot of times they just needed that support. Someone to say, because it can't always be about money.
Yes.
Someone to just say, listen, I see you already worked 60 hours this week. What's going on with you? You know what I'm saying? And that's not to be nosy and in someone's business, but that's to actually care, because if you take care of your people will be better to take care of other people, right? Because how could you care for somebody else if you can't care for yourself? If you go into work every day broken, how could you care for somebody else? So when I saw that, and I said, there's actually a window of opportunity here to actually start a company that is not all about money, not about just getting rich on the back of other people, but actually supplying the right nurse to the right job, and then also being there to support them along the way through their journey or whatever, you know, whether or not they want to switch out, they want to change, we would hope that they wouldn't, right? That they would stay still. But if they want to, we support them in that, and then helping them navigate through that without just upping and leaving the job and leaving the facility short.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, you talk about this with so much passion, and I know you mentioned that the pandemic sort of, you know, lit this fire under you, but sort of was that passion sort of always there to maybe want to start your own business?
It was always there. That's why I was always getting in trouble, because you know, the company I used to work for, my CEO, he would be like, Rosemarie, well, you don't have to go pick people up, right? You know, Rosemarie, you don't have to do that. You do that because you choose to do it. And I've always been like this. I've always been like this, as where I'm like, we're called to help. We're called to help people. So I always wanted my own company or whatever, but can I be honest?
Absolutely.
Can I be real on this show?
Please.
I never thought I was good enough.
Yes.
I never thought I was good enough to actually have my own or whatever, because I was like, I'm not called to have my own. I'm called to work for somebody else.
Yes.
But I said, if I can make somebody else this amount of money a week, why can't I do it for myself? And I'm going to do it from a different standpoint. Not to say that there was anything wrong with the company that I worked for, because I love them. But I would do things differently.
Absolutely.
Like, oh, I'm sorry, I touched the mic. So I would do things differently.
Absolutely.
I would absolutely just not be in it for the money. I would be in it because I actually have a heart and a passion for people.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, part of, you know, you said your reasoning for creating, you know, your own business was a couple of the challenges that you've seen arise from the pandemic. You know, and with that, obviously, you know, you work to combat those challenges, but did any new challenges arise as you started your own?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You gotta imagine, right? I thought I knew the business in and out, right? But I did not know like the legal paperwork aspect of the business. And so those were the challenges that I ran into in the beginning. It's like, you know, I don't know exactly what documents are needed, you know, and it's a competitive business.
Absolutely.
So people aren't just going to be forthcoming in giving you that information. You have to strap up your boots and go out there and find out what the information is for you to have. So I did find that to be challenging in the beginning.
Absolutely. And, you know, how did you sort of combat some of, you know, in some instances it sounds like maybe being discouraged would arise. How did you sort of combat those things?
So that actually did happen, because I first launched my business in 2023.
Wow.
In 2023, when I first launched it, like I said, I didn't really know about the paperwork aspect. And I said, I'm going to start a nursing recruiting service myself. And I just woke up one day and I just started filling out paperwork. And I said, I'm going to apply for all my stuff myself. And I'm going to do everything myself. And immediately I got contracts. Immediately I put nurses out to work. And I was like, look at me, I'm taking off. And then I hit a snag in the road because my paperwork wasn't matching up. And Indeed, shout out to Indeed, I love you guys. I had a hard time with them at first. They kept denying me of my business account. And I would use that platform when I worked for the company for 11 years to hire nurses. I hired we don't want to use the word hire, I contracted over 300 and some odd nurses through that time frame. And so I was like, okay, I know I could hire nurses through Indeed. I just need a business account. They kept denying me because of my paperwork. But I went to Katie Ortiz. She works down in the Mayor's Building, 999 Broad Street in Bridgeport. And she told me, she said, Rosemarie, come to my office. She said, by the time you leave out my office, she said, you will have a binder and all your business paperwork will be in order. Sometimes we need, not sometimes, most times we need other people. And there's always somebody out there that will point you in the right direction. It's just connecting with that right person. And by the time I left her office, I had all of my business paperwork. And so then I went back to Indeed. And this time, I didn't have to submit a document.
Wow.
Before I was submitting all kind of documents, and it was like deny, deny, deny. I didn't have to submit a document. I didn't have to do any of that. I just put in my information, immediate approval. Immediately, I started to be able to hire nurses. And right now, I have about maybe 40, 50 nurses in my Rolodex.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. And sometimes you just need that extra person to sort of push you where you need to be. And, you know, learning a little bit more about your organization, you know, you pride yourself on finding the nurse the right fit for the right organization. Mm-hmm. What does that process look like? What kind of qualities do you look for in that nurse to match them up with a specific type of organization?
Okay, so like private duty home care, right? We do pediatrics, also geriatrics. A nurse that would have a background in a trach and ventilator is very important. A nurse that has a background in wound care is very important. Just pairing up the right nurse to the right skill. Like, I don't ever want to take a nurse who's never done pediatrics and put her in pediatric home care. Now, you could take a nurse who's never done pediatrics and put them on a pediatric ward in a hospital, because that right there, if it's permanent placement, that's going to come with training, right? But if the job does not come with training and it's just based upon your skill with walking in the door, I could never pair a nurse up with a skill that they don't have already walking in the door. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so if it's like a patient who's a quadriplegic, I want to pair that patient up with a nurse that is familiar with patients who are quadriplegics.
That's so important, just basically meeting the patient, you know, where they are.
Yes.
And, you know, if someone was watching right now, how they might, you know, be able to connect with your services.
Okay, so I click in this camera. So it's S&R Nursing Recruiting Services, and you can connect with us. We are at 596 John Street in Bridgeport. That is where my office is at, and I am there now Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. However, you could reach us at 203-850-5999. 24 hours a day, there is someone to answer your phone call. If you're calling about receiving services, if you are a nurse and you're looking to register with us, you could go to snrnursingrecruitmentservices.com and you could apply via the website, or you could always apply on Indeed as well, but go to the website.
Amazing, amazing. Yes. And you know, switching gears a little bit, you know, you're not only an owner, you also, you know, work a lot in the community, specifically, you know, with the youth. And I want to ask you about your Universal Youth Financial Literacy Program. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? So
we have a Universal Youth Financial Literacy. It's through our outreach program, which is a 501c3. The owners of the program, the owners of the Universal Community Resources is Apostle Marcus and Apostle Judy Stovall. Hi, Apostles, I love you. So they are the owners of the 501c3, and so we've launched Universal Community Resources Youth Financial Literacy. It's a long title.
Yes.
It's a long title because we saw that there was a need in the community. We first started engaging with the children in the community through our soup kitchen. We opened up because we've been doing outreach for years, and we opened up a soup kitchen to be able to provide a hot meal. We would always provide perishables, but not an actual hot meal. And so people who were actually living out on the street, right? You give them a bag of food, they ain't got nowhere to cook the food at, right?
Absolutely.
But being able to provide a hot meal is different. And then they're allowed to come in, sit down, have this meal, and we love on them. We pour into them, right? So this that was first established so that way we could engage more with the community and provide people a hot meal. For whatever reason, it turned from that into now 40 to 50 youth showing up every Monday.
Wow, wow.
So then we started to say, okay, there's a need in the community for the children.
Absolutely.
The children are coming on their own. It's not like they're coming with their parents.
Wow.
They're showing up in droves by themselves.
Wow.
So we started to pour into the children, and then we realized, wait a minute, there's a bigger need here for them. So we actually connected with Mutual Security Credit Union.
Yes.
And when we connected with them, it was to have them come in to do a class in our woman's home. And the branch manager, her name is Annie. Shout out to you, Annie. I love you, girl. Annie came and she taught a class to our women in the women's home.
Okay.
And during that class is when this was birthed.
Wow.
So it was like,
Wow.
once the class was over, I looked at Annie, I said, Annie, I said, what do you think about youth financial literacy for the children? She said, Rosemarie, I love it. She said, what are you thinking?
Wow.
And so we got together, me, her, and my apostle Marcus. We got together at the branch, and we opened up so far 9 college savings accounts for the youth.
Wow.
Yep, in the community of Bridgeport. And it's not just limited to just Bridgeport.
Yes, I
Our
was
goal
gonna
is
ask.
to open up a total of 50 college savings
Yes.
accounts, and we want to be able to touch all areas of Connecticut.
Wow.
Touch-
That is life changing for a lot of kids, especially
Yes. And, I'm sorry, and
in
can-
the inner city.
Yep, and can I tell you, we had them, someone donated, that's why it's good to have friends. It's good to have friends.
Yes, always connections.
Someone donated us their limousine stretch van, like a Sprinter bus
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
but it's like the limousine, kind of like the Mercedes kind.
Okay.
It was really, really
Okay.
nice, all decked out, all the bells and whistles. They donated that to us, and we transported up to the bank all 9 children. They made their first deposits into their accounts. They put their names on their accounts or whatever, and now we have those same children coming to us with their report cards.
Wow.
Some of them have made high honors. So it has motivated them in the aspect of, you know what, this is not it. Because I heard a conversation between 2 of the teenage girls that this was it. That the 4 walls of Bridgeport that they knew of, right? Because Bridgeport has some really beautiful parts,
Absolutely.
right? But the part that they know of, or whatever, that this is all that it is. And that there's no way out.
Absolutely.
So bringing them outside of the community, busing them out, showing them a different environment, loving on them, and telling them that, listen, there's potential for you in life if you will just trust in yourself or whatever, and that there's people out there that will pour into you if they see that you're at least trying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, going back to, as far as you saying, evaluating the students and seeing where those needs are, with the teens and the young kids and, especially the ones in, underserved communities, it's so many different challenges. Why did you all focus on financial literacy as the focus point?
Because your understanding of finances is everything. That is your foundation. That is your foundation. We got to realize a lot of people come from households that the parents aren't even knowledgeable in financial literacy, right?
Absolutely.
So now how can they train a child? Now we have another generation of children being raised up. It's not something that they teach in school. They're not teaching financial literacy in school, right? So financial literacy helps to prepare them for tomorrow. We're helping them to establish businesses, so that way they could go out and be productive members of the community. A lot of people like to talk about the inner city children, oh, they're lost, they're just unreachable. But have you tried to reach them?
Yes.
Have you tried to reach them? Because if you actually try and you could get past all the hard exterior, there's a child that's in there that's screaming out that wants to be in an environment that is conducive. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah. And now that brings me to your event that you're actually having.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about your event and what people should expect from it?
Yes, so we're having an event, Youth Financial Literacy Day, at the YMCA on Park Avenue. I believe the address is 580 Park Avenue. 850, I'm so sorry, it's 850, thank you. It's 850 Park Avenue. And this event is on December 8th from, November 8th. I need my glasses. everyone who knows me, they're gonna say Rosemarie should really have wore her glasses. November 8th, from 12 to 2 p.m. We're actually gonna be there till 3, but it's actually 12 to 2 p.m. And we are going to be providing financial literacy training that day. We're gonna have some speakers come out. There will be Mutual Security Credit Union will be there that day. Coldwell Bank will be there that day. We do have an invite on the mayor's calendar.
Okay.
Yeah, we sent it to you. And so News 12 will also be there that day. And then we're just reaching out to the different schools in the community, the different businesses in the community, because our hope is that through grant funding, through sponsorship, through donations, we will be able to all partner together to fund these college savings accounts so that they will be successful.
Absolutely. And you know, what are some ways that, you know, we're talking about, like I said, you know, the youth that, you know, probably, you know, don't really get exposed to financial literacy. What are some ways you engage this group of the youth, you know, maybe compared to the next who probably don't have those same lived experiences?
Living experience. So the way that we would engage them to say our financial literacy program, we also are going to be incorporating math tutoring.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be incorporating math tutoring into the program as well, and say like there's a child that's more grounded with like financial literacy or whatever, then we would be focusing on, well, how can we take that information that you already have and try to build something for you, whether it's a business. And at this event, there's going to be all children vendors with their businesses at this event.
Oh,
yes.
wow, that's amazing.
Yes, and so people will be able to come that day to help to support them by purchasing something from their businesses. So we're really looking for the community to come out and support these children.
Yeah, and you know, just hearing about all the things you do, Rosemarie, it's amazing. And you know, you serve the community in so many different ways. You know, how would you define service in your words?
Service, a love for people, a genuine love for people. You know, I always got to mention it because I can't get away from him. There's a man that loves me with an immense amount of love, right? And that's my belief, right?
Absolutely.
It's, you know, it's my Jesus. He loves me with an immense amount of love. And so that love I just try to show to everyone.
That is amazing.
To everyone. And everyone deserves that. You know, and that's, you can give that freely. You could give love freely to everyone that you meet, and it could change people's lives.
Absolutely. And, you know, hearing about your work, it sounds like you've changed so many people's lives. And that brings me to my next question. You know, you've helped nurses, you've helped different families of youth. What are you sort of most proud of?
Can I tell you?
Absolutely.
Can I tell you? One day I had someone say to me, a gentleman, he was a certified nursing assistant. And when he came to me, he said, I really need a job. I really need somebody to give me a chance. And he went many places and no one would hire him. And he said, I really need somebody to give me a chance. He said, I'm gonna be honest with you, miss. He said, I ain't got no place to live. He said, I ain't got no car. And I'm crazy enough, right? Because how you gonna get to work? You be living in Connecticut.
Exactly.
And I looked at him and I said, you deserve a chance. And I hired him. It's one of my best workers I've ever had. I mean, somebody you could call at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, hey, I just got a call out. Can you do me a favor? Can you go to this facility? The facility an hour away from him. He get there.
Wow.
He go in, he works 16, 18-hour shifts.
Wow.
One day he came to me, came in the office, gave me a hug, and said, Rosemarie, I just want to tell you, because of you, I got a place. Because of you, I got a car. And he got a nice car. I got a BMW. I was like,
there we
listen.
go.
I was like, you might have wanted to get a Honda. But that was such a special moment for me, because I was like, wow, like, you actually give somebody a chance that other people won't give a chance to, and they come back to you to say thank you, and then you see the fruit. Right? You see the fruit of your work is like for him to come back and say, because you gave me this job, I was able to get an apartment. Because you gave me this job, I'm no longer homeless. Because you gave me this job, I now have a car. Like, that's like one of my best moments.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, just hearing about that, you know, whether it's you know, helping organizations, you know, get nurses, whether it's, you know, helping at-risk youth, you know, how would you, what kind of advice would you give to someone looking to get involved in the community as well, and to maybe, you know, lead things that you were doing as well?
Okay, so one thing is us over at Universal Community Resources, we need help, okay? So every Monday, our soup kitchen is open at 5 p.m. We usually arrive there about 4:20, 4:30 to help to set up. And you're more than welcome to coming out and helping us there. We are all self-funded, so even like being able to provide us with a bag of chicken, some pasta, or whatever, so that way we could continue to feed the community, because a lot of this stuff is coming out of our own pockets right now. Another thing is we have our food pantry that's open on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, and we need help there as well. We have a food truck delivery that comes out every first Friday of every month, so U-Haul truck, and we need that unloaded, and we could use help there as well, people that's willing to come out and volunteer. But to answer your question, if you're interested in helping out your community, just get up and go. Get up and go. Get up with the thought in mind that today I'm gonna actually go out and help somebody. When I first started with outreach, I named it Rosie's Helping Hands. That's what I named it. Rosie's Helping Hands.
Perfect fit.
And I would hit the streets of Bridgeport and New Haven, and one day I just woke up and I said, I'm gonna make 50 sandwiches and I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna feed the homeless.
Absolutely.
That's what I said. And I woke up, I went to the supermarket, and I went to the deli. I said, how much meat and cheese do I need to make 50 sandwiches, right? And they said, what are you trying to do? And I told them, they said, all right, this is what you're gonna need. I purchased the stuff, I went home, I made the sandwiches, I packed up my cooler with waters and everything, and I hit the streets of Bridgeport and New Haven, and I just started to feed the people, and that's how I started in outreach.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, as we sort of wrap up, what is next for, you know, SNR nursing recruitment?
So what's next for us is that I'm very hopeful that we will obtain more contracts, so that way I could put more nurses out there to work. Hopefully by this interview, people will hear the passion of the company, like what my heart's passion is to help people, and that they would be willing to partner with us and subcontract with us, so that way we could supply them with either permanent or temporary nursing.
Absolutely, that is amazing. And is there anything else you would like to share for the listeners out there?
Okay, so I do a plethora of things. I also do grant writing as well. I learned how to do grant writing just out of the blue, and it's been pretty successful. So I do grant writing, and I just wanted to share with the community that if you're looking to get involved, you could always come to Universal Community Resources, and you could reach us at 203-850-5999. For SNR Nursing Recruiting Services, you can reach us at 203-850-5999, or you could come and visit us on John Street in Bridgeport, Connecticut, if you wanted to find out more about the company, or visit our website, srnursingrecruitmentservices.com. But whatever it is that you choose to do, whether you choose to sign up with us as an agency, we take LPNs, RNs, and CNAs, or if you're looking to join us for outreach services, I just ask that you come with a willing heart. We're not looking to have people get rich. We're looking to have people come and really serve. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Rosemarie, for joining us today. That's it for our episode of Connecticut at Your Service. Thank you so much for joining us once again. I am Reginald David, filling in for Carmen Nieves, and see you next week.